Welcome to our video series on mastering FTP. In this video, we'll discuss working with folders and navigating through FTP. Okay, when using ACE FTP, the first step you need to take, and actually this is a step you need to take with pretty much all FTP software, is you need to add a site profile. So in ACE FTP, simply go File, Connect, and here if we go to the File menu, create New Site Profile. So here are the details you need to fill in. First, a descriptive name for the site. It doesn't really matter, I'll just say Demo Site. Okay, server. The server is the computer you actually need to connect to access your website, because your website is hosted on a server, a computer. So if you aren't sure of your server's address, often you can just put your domain name. For example, in this instance, my domain name is demosite1.info. So often you can just do that. demosite1.info in this instance. Or yourdomain.com, whatever it may be. And if you aren't sure about any of these access details, just ask your web host. They'll be happy to provide them because, of course, they want you to be able to access your site and work on it. Okay, so the address I need for accessing this demo site, I know this because the web host has told me, is bam.dreamhost.com. And generally port 21 is fine. Okay, user ID. This is where you need to get your username and password, which was given to you to access your website via FTP. So let me just get those details. And okay, I've entered the username, user ID, and password, and yes, automatically save password. That will save time later. And let's choose Next. Okay, here you can choose the default local folder. Local folder means a folder on your computer, or default host folder, which means a folder on your website. I generally leave them blank and just navigate to the folder I want manually. So let's finish. And okay, I've just added the demo site profile. Actually, it's the same as one that already exists, so I'll just select the existing one and delete it. Yes, let's get rid of that. Okay, it's gone. So there's our new profile. And now all we need to do is, if we close this down, whenever you want to connect to your site, just go File, Connect, click once on the profile, and you can click here, or you can choose Connection, Connect. And I'm connected. And this is how the server looks, how the website looks when you're accessing it via FTP. If you do get a bit lost on your website when accessing it via FTP, because things can look quite a bit different, then ask your web host if you're not sure exactly where to go. For example, in this particular FTP account, I have two domains set up, domainsite1.info and domainsite2.info, and both appear here as separate folders. So if I want to make changes to demosite1.info, I have to double-click into that folder. Okay, I've double-clicked into the folder, and there's absolutely nothing here. You can see that there are no files and no folders. So the domain demosite.1 is entirely empty. Okay, let me backtrack just one step, and actually I'm going to use demosite2.info as the demonstration domain here. So if I just go into the demosite2.info folder, and there we go, I've gone into the folder, and there are no files or folders there. So this domain should be entirely empty. So now if I go to the browser again, there's demosite2.info. and absolutely nothing at all. It's just showing me an index listing and no files and no folders. Okay, so back to FTP, and there you go. At the most basic level, navigating through FTP is just like navigating through your computer. You have folders, and you can navigate through folders, or you can go back up out of folders. And AceFTP has standard features such as back for back a step, whatever you did last, and refresh. And you can also delete folders, but obviously you do that very carefully on your website because you don't want to make any drastic changes by accident. And actually, such accidents do happen sometimes, and that's an argument for having very regular backups of everything. So that's a different story, but it's very important. So as mentioned, get clear with your web host exactly which folders are for your domains. For example, if I again go into demosite2.info, I'm now in the root of demosite2.info. That means the root means that I'm at the very top. I'm not in any subfolders. For example, if I go back to the browser, I'm viewing the root of demosite2.info. Again, the root is what you see before you go into any subfolders. Now, going back to AceFTP, I can use this little tool here, Create New Folder, and let's just call it Subfolder. And press Enter when I'm done. Then if I want to rename it, I can just click on it. And you can see that it becomes editable. So now I can rename it to, for example, this is a subfolder. And it's been renamed. So now, back to the browser, refresh, and you see just like that, a folder appears. If I click on that folder, and okay, I've gone into the subfolder, and all I'm seeing again is just index listings at the moment because there's nothing else to show. There aren't any web pages to show. Now, if I change my mind about this folder, I can simply make sure it's selected and delete and yes, and it's gone. So back to the browser, and you see that this happens instantly. Because I'm doing it by FTP directly on my website, any changes appear instantly on the website, of course, to anyone who's accessing the site through a browser. All your changes do go online instantly. So let me go back to the root, and now you see that the subfolder's gone. So again, at the basic level, navigating through FTP is just like navigating through a computer and has much the same functionality. You can go up a folder, you can go into subfolders, you can create folders, you can refresh, you can delete a folder, you can rename folders. It's all pretty standard. As I've already mentioned a couple of times, but it's a really fundamental concept, you need which folders are the roots of your domains. Again, demosite2 is the root. If I go up a level, and let's say I upload some files here, or let's say I create a new folder here, and I'll call it invisible folder. This folder cannot be seen by anyone visiting the website, because again, I have to upload files or create folders in the demosite1.info folder, or in the demosite2.info folder, for those files or folders to be seen live on those websites. Anything below those folders here is not going to be seen on the websites. So that's a really fundamental concept. Which folders are root of your domains, and if you remember those and work within those, and be careful making changes within those because your changes will go live instantly. And again, if you aren't sure exactly which folders those are, just ask your web host and they should be happy to help you. So let me just delete that invisible subfolder because I don't need it. At a basic level, that's how you work with folders and navigate through FTP.